Welcome back to another video. So I'm just loading up my program because it is taper week. At the time of this video going up, I will have competed. It will be the day after comp. I'm feeling very good. Not about my performance and how training's been. We're gonna just ignore that. It's a fresh week. Generally in myself though, I feel really good. My hair is also really uncomfortable. Yeah, I feel really kind of good in myself. Like I have a lot of energy today, which surprises me because when I woke up this morning, I was in a deep sleep when the alarm went off. But like, I'm in a really good mood. We've just had the bank holiday weekend here and I really made an effort to like chill out, rest, sleep, and get ahead on work. That was kind of my focus point of the bank holiday weekend. And so this week, like today, I've just been continuing to get ahead. Like I'm way ahead of myself in terms of work and like programming and stuff. And like, I just feel really good about it because it means that there is no reason for me to stress about getting things done this week because there is so much time for me to get everything done. Body weight is exactly where we needed it to be. So I was 85.4 yesterday on Monday, but that was at like 10 in the morning after a major lay-in. Today I was 85.7 at 7 in the morning. So very good spot. Nutrition coach is happy, had a check-in today. Plan is to eat normally tomorrow, so tomorrow is Wednesday, and then gut cut is most likely going to start Thursday unless my body weight is already below 85.5, in which case we'll just do a gut cut Friday, Saturday, but most likely gut cut Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Macros are staying the same. Don't really see any reason to drop my carbs, although yes, I'm going to be carrying kind of more retention or like water weight from having higher carbs. The gut volume and everything, like I should still make weight pretty comfortably with it, but we have said we're open to potentially dropping carbs if needed. But honestly, like everything's kind of coming together. Other than my training going to plan, everything's coming together. But I'm just kind of in a state of acceptance. Like I can't change things. I'm feeling pretty positive in general. Like and I've said this before, I've probably said this in the last video. I actually made a post about it rather than posting my 1 week out lifts. I made a post about the fact that a good prep does not automatically mean a good comp, which means a bad prep does not automatically mean a bad comp. I'm experienced in this game. All I need to do is just focus on resting this week, recovering, sticking to the taper plan, and on Sunday, just taking what's there. Just take the kilos that are there. I am strong enough to still total something decent, hopefully, even on a bad day. So we'll just take what's there and hopefully we have a good day. My coach and I texted him yesterday, I was like into the most unexpected super meet of all time. And he was like, I'm literally manifesting it. So we'll see what happens. But this video is gonna be a little bit different. So rather than showing 3 separate videos for 3 separate training days, today we have got my taper week all in one video. The next video is going to be probably documenting the gut cut. And then Friday's video will be comp recap. That means I'm gonna have to film the comp recap literally as soon as comp is done, which I usually put off doing. But the reason I wanna kind of get ahead is because I'm going straight into another prep for bench worlds. So I wanna document that all as well, obviously, and document the back-to-back preps. The plan for this week is essentially just strip back volume, strip back some of the fatigue, but keep some level of intensity there just to kind of keep that peak strength showing. I know from years of doing this that I still need to lift pretty heavy on the week of comp for things to feel good. Like when I coached myself, didn't really taper. I just essentially kept like growing into the meet. And we follow a very similar structure now. I'm working with my coach. He does taper volume back slightly more. I think the only lift we generally do an actual taper on is deadlift, which I've also got news on the deadlift front. We think we've decided which stance we're going with, which even that's still a shot in the dark, still not actually sure. But yeah, deadlift's the only lift I've ever really tapered. Bench, I pull back volume ever so slightly when I do it myself. My coach has pulled back volume as well, especially because my 1 week out bench was quite hard and I felt quite generally fatigued. And then squat, we have to keep the intensity pretty high for squat. He has stripped some volume back, but yeah. Obviously in this video, I'll show you guys what I'm doing for my main lifts. Accessories have been pulled back, still got a very small amount. Like I need to go to the gym after this and literally just do like a couple sets of dumbbell overhead press, a couple sets of lat pull down, a couple sets of cable row, and a couple sets of front raises. Like that's literally it. And it's literally gonna take me 15 minutes depending on equipment availability because everything is super low RPE as well. So I'm quite glad about that. I was going to potentially just do them all at home, but actually I'd rather go to the gym because I need to pop into the place next door to the gym we go to, which is like a food warehouse, and buy some food for tomorrow. And then tomorrow I need to do my gut cut food shop, which I will potentially show you guys in a video if I remember to show you what I kind of got. A lot of the stuff I've actually already got. But yeah, that will be the next video, will be diet-based stuff. But this video is going to be the training for comp week. So today we've got my heavy Larsen press day. So it's Tuesday. I don't even know if I said what day it is. It's Tuesday evening. It's 6:15. I've got a single on Larsen press at an RPE of 7 into a single at an RPE of 8. So usually on this day, I'll do a triple and then add 5 kilos for a single. Today we've got 2 singles, so still keeping the load there. Realistically pushing the load a little bit more than normal. Hoping for a little Larsen press PB, but we'll just sort of see. I'm not going to be stupid because I do think, in all honesty, I may have pushed bench a little bit too much this block across the board, and that might be why I didn't feel amazing the other day. So I need to just be sensible this week and pray to the taper gods, I guess. I've then got 4x3 at 95 kilos, 3 count comp bench. So normally I would do like a back off rep set of Larsen press, but we haven't got that this week. And then, yeah, going to go to the gym, do my accessories. I will talk you through tomorrow's plan when I film those clips tomorrow. But yeah, I'm feeling good. This is probably going to be a really long video because I forgot to answer some comments in the last video that I filmed. I think I was just swept away with my training's going terribly, send help. But I wanted to answer some questions. Let me find them. So someone asked 2 fairly similar questions, I think might actually be from the same person. I'll read the most recent one. Yeah, they are the same person. So how would you plan your week as a newbie to powerlifting? Been doing it for about 2 months on and off. But like as a builder, I'm trying not to fry the CNS. Okay, so I think this person is a builder. They have a manual job. They're trying not to fry their CNS. They always end up fatigued. They also mentioned they listen to the podcast as well. So appreciate that. Also have some really exciting news on the podcast, but I will save that for post-comp. So basically planning training as a newbie to powerlifting, I think a lot of people think that if they're jumping into powerlifting, like if you're already regularly going to the gym, you don't need to suddenly massively change everything that you're doing. I think if you have a manual job, you need to pay a lot of attention to how you feel each day. And that's where I'm not a massive fan of RPE for a lot of people. But if you have a really manual job, or like as a woman, if you're someone that really struggles with severe kind of symptoms throughout your cycle or something like that, and it's just one of those things where you know you're going to need to adjust, that's when RPE is a really, really good tool to use. So I would say use RPE, but basically don't feel like you have to go into super specificity, super specific squat, bench, deadlift, not accessories. Like when you're newer to powerlifting, I still do this with my lifters, they've been doing this a really long time, but when you're newer to powerlifting, I always describe it as focus on building the foundations, building your base. You need to squat, you need to bench press, you need to deadlift, and you need to make those lifts kind of technically refined. Find ways to make your technique solid, consistent, and efficient for your frame, for your build. Focus on that, and obviously you want to have some level of intensity on those lifts because you need to get used to pushing them over time. But what you also want to do is build your foundations through other movements as well. And this is actually something that we had. So I went to a coaching forum recently and there was a little bit of a debate around this because there are some coaching companies that are known for being very specific. And when I say specific, I mean squat, bench, deadlift focused, not so much on the kind of accessory, like bodybuilder-esque side. And don't get me wrong, accessories aren't always from a standpoint of building muscle. A lot of the time they are to kind of open up movement patterns, shift movement patterns, kind of get you moving in different ways, that type of thing, or like priming movements, that sort of thing. But essentially, yes, you will build muscle from doing squat, bench, press, and deadlift. Like they are compound movements, they work multiple muscle groups. You will be building muscle from doing them. But if you're only using squat, bench, and deadlift to build muscle and you're not then utilizing things like a chest press machine or like a dumbbell chest press or chest flies or a leg press, leg extension, leg curl, something like that, like a little bit more of a kind of different movement, then you're probably just kind of low-hanging fruit kind of being missed, right? Hope that kind of makes sense. I haven't actually planned the answer to this question, by the way. But yeah, so basically I would say, don't feel like you have to go straight into a super specific program. Whatever you're currently doing, just try and let's say like when I started, I did push, pull, legs. So just add some bench press to your push day. Barbell bench press, comp standard, focus on your technique on that. Add some squatting to your leg day, add some deadlifting to your pull day, if that's the order you want to do it. I would generally say you probably want to bench at least twice a week because to bench press is such a technical movement. And squatting and deadlifting, especially if you're a builder, like in this comment, I think you've said you're a builder, probably don't need to deadlift more than once a week, at least to begin with. And probably don't need to really push deadlift overly heavy because you will fry yourself. But essentially, it's really important to learn to listen to your body. learn to, like, you don't need to push super heavy all the time. Like, just because you're training as a powerlifter, you don't need to push really heavy. Like, a lot of people think if they're doing a 4-week training block, you have to really push yourself on week 4 every single time. That is absolutely not the case. There is a time and a place to push yourself. Some people can recover well enough to do that every 4 weeks. Some people do that every time they step on the platform, twice a year. Some people do it every 3 blocks, whatever kind of works for you. But this probably wasn't the most specific answer. And if you want a more specific help, then do feel free to kind of reach out, give me more specific kind of information about how you're currently training. And I will break it down in a video, give some advice in a video to make it more helpful to other people too. And this applies to anyone, not just the person that asked this question. It's always helpful to have obviously more context, because the recurring joke within powerlifting coaching or any kind of coaching is it depends, because it does completely depend on you and your lifestyle. But I would say, especially as a builder, don't feel like you have to go super specific and push really hard. Don't feel like you have to do tons of volume. You absolutely don't. Just, if you're really, really new, literally just start off with like 3-4 sets of squats a week, 3 sets of deadlifts a week. And then with bench press, it kind of depends what you're currently doing, maybe like 5 to 7 sets per week to begin with and see how you feel. And that doesn't mean in one session either, that's split across the week. So like bench press, you could do maybe like 1 day a week where you do like a top single, which doesn't mean heavy single, it just means a single, a practice of singles. And then like 1 or 2 back down sets that are a little bit lighter rep work, focusing specifically on like lighter rep work with good technique. Then you'd have another day a week where you do like 3x4 or something. That's just an example. But powerlifting, basically, to wrap this a little ramble up, which is also really, really long, apologies. Powerlifting training doesn't have to be uber specific, especially when you are new. Utilize accessories, utilize different movement patterns, especially if you're a builder. You want to feel healthy moving in different movement patterns, because when you're lifting things up at work, you don't want to be so used to being stuck in these like one plane of motion, which a lot of powerlifters get stuck in. And then when you try and do anything slightly different, like pick something up at an awkward angle or something, you then throw your back out. Like, that is such a common thing with powerlifters. Like, we get so stuck in one plane of movement that anytime we try and kind of move in different directions, we end up not necessarily hurting ourselves, but it doesn't feel good. So I would also say just utilize different machines, dumbbells, free weights, that sort of thing, alongside your squat, bench, and deadlift to progress and build muscle. And don't feel like you have to push all the time. Utilize RPE. You don't need to push super heavy. If you feel really tired after a really busy period at work, take things a little bit lighter. That's not a problem. This was a very long talking segment for a video that's probably already going to be really long, so I'm going to stop talking. Going to get ready to do my last and press. Okay, so excuse stating me. I've literally just done 105 and then 110 for a single. I expected the 110 to be a bit easier than it was. I've actually decided to call it there. I thought about going to 112, but to be honest, my shoulders feel fried from, I think at the weekend, part of the reason my bench didn't go very well. So if you've not watched the last video, my bench didn't go very well. I think I was kind of rotating a little bit too much and just essentially putting a bit too much pressure on my shoulders. And my positioning was just a little bit off. And I think that's just created a bit of unnecessary fatigue. So actually, I think it makes more sense, rather than trying to push the load today, to just kind of pull that back a little bit. Because with last and press, generally I'm a little bit more flared anyway. And yeah, I'll just cap it at 110. It wasn't super difficult. I think I pushed last and press way too hard last week anyway, and I think that's part of kind of the problem. As much as I would like to touch 112, because I would imagine I'll be opening between 112 and 115, it's not meant to be. It's not meant to be today, and that's absolutely fine. Like, I definitely could have done 112, probably could grind out a 115, but that's not the point of today. So I'm going to take the sensible call. I'm going to just drop to 95. I probably won't film these, to be honest, because they're going to be like pretty light and comfortable. I've got triples at 95, 3 count triples. So I'm going to kind of call it there. Something I realized I forgot to say with the response to the comment, the question that I was answering earlier about like training and stuff for beginners. I forgot to also say, especially if you have a manual job, you have to be really on top of like other externals as well. Like, even if you're not powerlifting, like if you're just kind of a general gym goer, trying to like, you know, get fitter, stronger, whatever your goals are, make sure you're taking care of your recovery too. And that's not just a case of nutrition and kind of eating enough and good quality foods. That's also sleep. Sleep is such a big thing. I actually filmed a seminar today for my clients on the importance of sleep and like ways to improve your sleep hygiene and stuff. So I would also say just make sure you're taking care of things like that as well. So like sleep, nutrition, stress levels, like overall recovery outside of the gym, and that will be a good way to kind of make sure CNS kind of recovers, especially sleep. Like if we don't get into a deep enough state of sleep, our CNS is going to be fried. So that's something I also forgot to mention. Anyway, I'm going to just get the rest of this bench done. I don't want to say I'm disheartened because I'm not overly surprised. Like my shoulders were so sore like all of yesterday, which doesn't ever really happen. But obviously comp week, I like to push, and I'm not, but it's fine. Mentally, I'm feeling pretty good about it. And actually it might be exactly what my bench needs for Sunday for it to show up. Okay, it is Wednesday. It is session 2 of taper week, session 2 of 3. I've got one more session on Friday that I'll show you guys. Gonna be so real. Fatigue is definitely up. I don't know if it's just like I'm usually quite tired midweek. I didn't get the best quality of sleep last night, I don't feel like. Thankfully, taper session isn't super long, so hopefully I can get things done in good time because it's now 6:10. If I can get this session done by like 8, which should be more than achievable, I can go on a quick walk, make my dinner. I'll probably cook my dinner while I'm walking the dog, get in bed by like 9, 9:15, and just like go straight to sleep because I am tired today. And I'm very aware that yesterday I didn't feel super strong and I felt quite generally sore. Accessories after when I went to the commercial gym as well didn't feel great. Not that I did many, I had like 4 and they were all super low RPE anyway, but like I went lighter than I thought I would have to go considering the RPE, which just tells me that fatigue is very high right now. And also, not gonna lie, noticed this afternoon/evening, I'm a little bit cranky, and I think that's a sign I'm very fatigued too, because it's quite out of character for me. But yeah, I think fatigue is pretty high, so this taper is very much needed. And to be honest, I don't usually feel like this going into comp. I'm not sure if I spoke about this briefly yesterday, but like usually when I coached myself, I would just kind of grow into a comp and just follow the block into the comp, which we've kind of done, but we've just pushed that little bit harder than normal. So then this week we've got a bit more of like a slightly more aggressive taper, or a bit more of an aggressive taper than I'm kind of used to. And I feel like I need it. I don't usually feel like I need it, but I feel like I need it. So I'm hoping that means that everything's going to come together on Sunday and I'll be fine. Not gonna lie though, I don't know if it's partly just because I'm tired, but like today my mindset, I say today, this evening, this afternoon, my mindset hasn't really been the best around comp. Like I'm doing it, I'm going to show up and I'm going to try, but like I kind of just want it over with. Like to the point where I was also thinking about like, I've got bench worlds 2.5 weeks after, which I'm absolutely doing, but part of me is like, do I bother doing bench Euros? Like should I even bother spending the money on it? Should I just kind of give up my spot, let one of the reserves take it type thing? But I'm still going to do it. But my mind was just kind of not spiraling at all, but just kind of a little bit of like is there much point? Do you want to do this? You know, like, would you not rather just come back off of bench world and just get straight back into, I mean, I'm going to get straight back into training anyway, but like, I would say I'm not feeling overly excited for the day. Like yesterday, daytime, I somehow had like tricked myself into being like, it's all fine, it's all going to work out, you're going to be fine. But then I think bench not going quite to plan yesterday kind of rocked my confidence a little bit, but it's fine. It's all fine. Just going to take what's there on the day, like literally, and that's all you can do. But I just want to be honest about the fact that like mentally today I'm struggling a little bit more. And like, I just feel a bit down, to be honest. I'm a bit cranky, which isn't really like me. But that is also a sign of not being recovered, which, you know, is taper week. It's kind of to be expected, especially if I didn't sleep the best last night. Plan for today, I've got ascending squats, which I always have on this day, but usually it's 3 triples. So today I've got a triple into a double into a single. Triple is RPE 6, double is RPE 7, single is 6 to 7 RPE with a load cap of 180. So all I'm going to do is do 160 for a triple, 170 for a double, 180 for a single, and I'm going to try and make that absolutely fly, and well, by my standards. And then I've got 2x6 at 120 high bar, which should be really comfortable and not take too long to get through at all. I've then got, I've got written down 3x5 comp bench, which is at 90 kilos, which I do every single week of every single block. But I did speak to my coach and we might drop that to 3x4 at 90. He said about potentially dropping the load to like 80, 82-ish. But I was like, to be honest, I think I'm better off still feeling the load, but actually just doing slightly less reps if I feel the need. So essentially, depending on how fatigued I feel, like if I feel as beaten up as I did yesterday when I was benching, I'll probably just do 3x4 at 90. But we will obviously see how I feel. And then, so this is the interesting bit, deadlift. So my coach has spoken. I don't think he's convinced still, and I don't think I am either, on which deadlift I'll be doing. So when I pulled conventional back in the day, I would essentially do a 10-day taper. So I would deadlift like my last like heavy single, maybe a little bit of rep work 10 days out, which would have been last Wednesday. And and then I wouldn't deadlift again until comp day. But because I'm running both, I did sumo on Sunday, and my coach had put 3x2 at 140 for deadlifts on this session. And I was like, right, do you want me doing conventional 3x2? Because if we're pulling conventional Sunday, we probably don't need to do any conventional this week. And we're probably better off, especially with my hamstring, just like, let's not bother. Let's just wait until comp day. To which he responded, to be honest, I'm probably going to get you to just do sumo midweek. So we are doing, he said doubles or singles, again, depending on how I feel, at 140. I'll probably do 3x2 at 140. Essentially just trying to be super consistent with my positioning, super consistent with my technique, and pulling sumo in hopes that we can pull sumo on Sunday, which, to be honest, I think is probably the right call, but I still don't know. And I don't think he particularly is confident either. I think we're both kind of in the same boat of whatever happens, happens. I was actually saying to someone earlier today how ironic it would be. Like, squats have been in a really good position, and I don't want to jinx myself, but like, I don't think I'm going to be loading 200 on Sunday, but like, let's say I finally squat that 200 that I've been like capable of for like 2 years now. Let's say I finally load 200 and squat it, and then I deadlift like 170 as like an RPE 10. Like, that would just be typical. I actually said, I was like, if I squat 200, I'm just going to bench and deadlift 70 and just call it a day. Like, done, whatever. I've ticked a massive goal off my bucket list, whatever, like, that'll do. But yeah, not really too much more to say. That was a lot of ramble. Basically just want to be honest about the fact that I'm not feeling great today. I don't really want to train. I don't really want to do anything. Probably doesn't help that the weather's been pretty horrible here today. So there's like no sunshine to wake me up and make me feel good. But it's all fine. I'm just going to kind of crack on, get this session done, execute to the best of my ability. I'm feeling pretty good about squatting. Like, that should be fine. My body generally feels a little bit stiff, but just kind of have to ignore it. In terms of diet, what we're doing there, my next video that I post this week will be all about my gut cut. I'll start filming that tomorrow, talk you guys through kind of what I'm doing to make weight. So yeah, and then in this session, I'll show you my day 3 of my taper, which will be Friday. But yeah, I'll show you the heaviest stuff from today. I'll show you some stuff from today. I'll let you know what we end up doing. I'm just going to kind of listen to my body a little bit today, and go from there. But I also think I need to ignore the fatigue to a certain point and like not let myself go in being like, oh, but you're tired, just do a bit less. Like, I still need to go in and like attack this session with full like 100% effort, 100% mindset and mentality behind it. But I kind of don't feel like I'm in a stage to do that. But I know I'll be fine. Like, I train tired regularly. Like, this is no different. I've pushed normal training blocks way harder than we pushed last week, so I'm fine. I just need to convince myself and like my body that I'm fine. But yeah, let's stop talking. Let's just crack on. 너와 있을 때 I swear 제가 먼저 zero 폭설한 그 children 꿈에도 I wasn't done 나만 빼고 넌 모두에게 참 친절해 배신감이 들어 단판이 태도 머릿속을 흔들니 ibuprofen 그만해 it's time to stop 승부욕을 자극하는 style yeah. 알면서도 마음이 자꾸 내게 가 안만 빠져버릴까 If you want me back I'll tell you I'm sorry If you want me back I'll tell you stop trying Yeah, yeah, you got me Let it go 얼어붙어 like whoa 띵하고 어지러워 I see 한여름에도 넌 겨울 Yeah, girl, you're cold-blooded Yeah, girl, you're cold-blooded Yeah, yeah, yeah Girl, you're cold-blooded Girl, you're cold, girl, you're cold-blooded Okay, team. Didn't expect squats to feel that good. I didn't feel my 2 sets of 6 on high bar because it was 120 and it was pretty light and comfortable. I didn't expect squats to go that well. Obviously, I intended to load 180 regardless because the target RPE was 6 to 7. Like, I can squat 180 at 7 on my worst day. Like, I fully am confident in that. So I was like, I'm going to load it anyway. And I went from 120 to 150, which is a pretty standard jump for me. And the 150 felt a bit off, but I was like, it's fine. I wasn't quite under the bar right. Like, it wasn't fully locked in on my back or whatever. Didn't take it seriously enough. 160 triple, I did the first rep and I was like, this isn't the best. And then the next 2 reps felt like butter. Like, they were so smooth and comfortable that my confidence was like, yeah, no, maybe I can do this. So I did 170 for 2 as planned. I was never going to go off the plan, to be honest. 170 double felt good, pretty good. Like, it was a little bit slower, but like, it was still an RP6. Like, I could have just kept going. It wasn't a problem. And then 180 single. pretty happy. I think when I squat alone at home, I know the RPE, like, not even the RPE is higher because I could have literally done 4 or 5. Like, if you had a gun to my head, I could have at least grinded like 4 more reps on that. Like, I'm confident in that. Like, remember, I am a slow squatter near top end. Or not even near top end, just like 170 plus is slow for me. But that felt really good, like possibly the best it's felt at home in like a long time. So I'm happy. Get some spotters around me. The RPE will be even lower because I'll have that extra confidence. I won't like tempo the descent quite so much. That was the confidence boost I needed. Granted, squats went well on my last heavy session anyway. So it's not squats that I need the confidence boost for. But I think it's a nice feeling knowing that the first lift of the day is the one that I'm the most confident for. And from there, I'm just going to obviously see what happens. Bench still should be fine. Like, my bench is big enough to still do decently well and get a decent subtotal in. It just depends on how I feel on the day because it's just not quite felt right the last couple of sessions, but all will be fine. And then we've got sumo to play around with. Anyway, just want to give a very quick update about how happy I am about squats. It's definitely put me in a better mood. Now I'm going to just set up, get bench done fairly quickly. I'll probably still do my 5s. I feel reasonably fresh, like physically today. But we will see when I actually start benching. 모든 스트레스는 gotta let it go 했어 속했던 데이팅 어플 다 깔아 또 보았어 반대가 끌린대 opposites attract Don't know about me and you, yeah we fell into the cracks Yeah 갖고 너네 no cap 왜 난 안 보여 what's happening 객관적일 수가 없이 이미 game white flag and waving fast Yeah I'm leaving back but 말은 don't know 만 보면 나도 내 맘 I don't know Okay, maybe it's not all over. That is by far the best bench has ever felt on this day. Usually on this day, my 5s at 90 are easy, but like I feel stiff and they just feel a bit more effort than they should. I think partly because obviously I didn't do accessories or I didn't do as many accessories yesterday, on top of the fact that I actually capped my bench quite sensibly last night. That felt good. That felt very, very good. Everything felt crisp. So maybe bench is back just in time. I am trying to just remain like anything could happen, stay positive, and just like I say, I've said like 10 million times this video, just play the day as it is. Like you never know how you're going to feel on the day. I've had some for preps that have been absolutely phenomenal and ended up having awful days. So the opposite has also happened before as well. I've had like quite bad average preps. Like this is definitely the worst one I've had. But then I've had okay comps. So I've seen it where people have had terrible preps and end up pulling it out of the bag on the day. So all is not lost. That felt really good. Now I'm going to get ready to do sumo. Fingers crossed this feels like it used to and really natural. And then I will be in the best mood ever for the rest of the week. I'll tell you I'm sorry if you want me back. I'll tell you stop trying. Yeah, you got me. Let it go. 얼어붙어 like whoa. Okay, team, could not have asked for deadlifts to feel any better than that. I felt like the bar was leaving the floor before I'd even actually like fully pulled the slack. Like that felt good. I didn't overthink, I just trusted myself. And if I can replicate that on Sunday, we might be okay. I still have no idea how that's going to feel top end because I feel like when I was doing lighter sumo on this day before, it always felt good. It was only when I then tried to kind of ramp up the load, things just didn't really click, but I'm not sitting down into it. I feel like I'm hinging into it again. My hips like are starting higher, which is what I need when I pull heavy sumo. And that felt really good. So fingers crossed, everything feels good Sunday and we can just forget this prep and just focus on the actual day itself. To be honest, that's the best I could have asked for out of this session. I'm going to do some of my rehab stuff, not all of it, just a few bits, just to kind of keep me feeling good into Sunday. Then I'm going to put some food in the oven, take the dog on a walk, or the air fryer, take the dog on a nice little 20-minute, 25-minute walk, just to like get some more steps in, fresh air. I think going for walks post-SBD has been really good for keeping me healthy. Like after my 1 week out SBD, I felt so beaten up by the time I'd driven home and stuff. I went for like a 25-30-minute walk that evening and I felt so much better after. And the next day, like I didn't really have any aches or anything in my hips and legs, which when I was driving back and stuff, I really noticed. So gonna go for a nice post-training walk while my food cooks and keep my steps up nice and high. My steps have been like 11, 12,000 still, really consistent with those. Need to not slack now that comp week is here and just get those in still. But yeah, that's like, I'm still not obviously going to feel super confident until the day is here, like slash during the day because of the way the prep's been. but you can only take it one day at a time, and this is definitely the best this session could have gone. So I'm going to take that as a big win and just kind of put the rest of my sessions behind me, forget any of them have happened, and just go from there. Yeah, I'm going to take it as a win. I'll check in with you guys for my Friday tempo bench. So yeah. Okay, so it is Friday evening, it's 10 to 5, and I'm now about to go into my final session before comp. So it's taper session day 3, and then competition is Sunday afternoon. So plan for today, essentially it's very similar to normal. This day is always a very quick kind of low intensity day. I've got tempo bench. Normally I have ascending doubles. I've got 2 doubles. So I've got a double at 80, a double at 90. And then I've got 2 singles, one at an RPE 5 to 6 and then one at a 6. My coach and I spoke about last week though. So last week was the heaviest we've ever pushed this day, and I did a double at 105. And it was about an RPE 6, maybe 6.5. But we kind of both said, we think actually if I push this day to that level, it does kind of leave me feeling a little bit tired going into my Sunday primary bench. So we're basically thinking maybe just cap me between 100 and 102.5 for that tempo single. Bear in mind last week was a double at 105. But when I've pushed this day kind of above the 102 mark, it hasn't, or like in the 100 mark, it hasn't always left me feeling the best for my primary day. So essentially I'm probably just going to do a double at 80, a double at 90, a single at 95 and a single at 100. Possibly 97 and then 102.5, depending on how good I feel and how like solid my technique feels. But this day isn't really about pushing anything at all. And then I've just got my normal accessories, which is 2 sets of shrugs, 2 sets of pullovers, 2 sets of pull down, and then 2 sets of bicep curls. But everything is literally like RPE 5 and lower reps than normal too. So normally this session takes me like 18 minutes. Today I think I can probably get it done in 15, but I'm not going to rush through because I'm not in a rush. I've had a really productive work day. What I'm going to do, because I am still technically kind of working tomorrow, but just because I'm traveling and stuff, I've basically given my clients a heads up. I probably won't be too available all weekend. But what I've essentially decided, what I'm going to do is like when I finish training tonight, I'm going to kind of go in and pack most of my stuff ready to leave tomorrow. But then I'll also just go and like clear my inbox like 7 p.m. tonight, just to kind of leave things as kind of up to date as possible. And then tomorrow, depending on what I'm doing, if I get there really early and I've got time to kill, then I'll probably send you replies. Even Sunday, to be fair, like if I wake up and I make weight pretty easily, there's a good chance just to kill some time, because I'm probably going to wake up early, because I always do when I stay in hotels. I'll just sit and kind of work through my inbox and stuff anyway. So we'll just kind of see. But I would like to leave my inbox as empty as possible, obviously by the end of today. So going to log back on later tonight and just make sure everything is completely up to date, which to be fair, I did when I logged off at about 3 to go on a dog walk, everything was completely up to date. So we are ahead and I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty calm. I'm feeling pretty stress-free, to be honest. I've just made my like post weigh-in snack as well. So normally before I train, I have like scrambled oats, which scrambled oats are basically when you mash up a banana, mix it in with oats. I put some cinnamon in mine, some Himalayan salt, kind of words out. And I mix that all up and then I put it in a pan and essentially just kind of heat it through. I have that in a yogurt bowl with some apple and sometimes berries and stuff as well. So I was like, right, what can I make that is pretty similar to that, that I know leaves me feeling good and fueled on comp day? And I was like, well, I won't eat a banana unless it's like cooked into something. So I was like, right, I'll make some baked oats essentially with all of the ingredients that I normally use, but rather than fruit, I've just put in some jam, just so it's like a quicker digesting kind of carb, lower fiber, whatever. And actually that should be good. Put a couple of scoops of protein powder in there to get a little bit of protein in post weigh-in. And I've literally doused them with maple syrup as well. I put so much maple syrup in the recipe that I think they're going to taste really good. But because I am mid-gut cut, I can't try them. But I basically I'm going to track my food on comp day, and I'm going to be really kind of on the ball about making sure that I obviously just fuel myself pretty much the same as I do for training, because I am doing a gut cut, but we're not really doing any major manipulation outside of that, hopefully, other than maybe sauna on the day, which when I say sauna, I mean like hot shower. But in the next video that I put up on Wednesday, it will be how I made weight. So I'll give you more updates on that. And then on Friday will be my comp recap. But anyway, that's enough talking from me. I'm gonna get my session done and then we're ready for comp.
Yeah, girl, you cold-blooded.